Okay, I've already done some wet sanding on the Aquarius before I realized the camera wasn't recording with 220. Now we're working with 500. So what I'm doing is I'm removing the oxidized gel coat from the boat. I'm wet sanding to prevent dust. Not something I want to be inhaling, and it's a nice day, so why not enjoy May, get out, do a little detail work on the boat. I continue to rinse it off, keep it nice and damp. There's a little bit too much sun, it's kind of drying me out fast. I'm thinking about grabbing my hose pipe with the mist on it. So now that I've got that hooked up, I'm going to move the camera. We're going to keep going. Now we're up to 1,000 grit sandpaper. And at this point I noticed there's a little blue spot, and I was thinking right where I'm at now that blue spot was whenever they put the blue gel coat over top of the white gel coat, that they got a little spot on it or something, and I tried to sand it off and I noticed it got a little bigger. That's when I realized that white stripe on that gel coat is the top layer. And then got to looking at it, and I noticed it's taped off kind of wavy. If you look right over the NC2429, you'll notice that thing just waves up and down and up and down. It's not a good straight line. I'm not going to worry about that little piece showing through that's blue spot. I'm getting enough shine out of this boat with everything I bought now, right at $600 invested into it. Not a bad investment since it's going to shine up like this. Next thing we got to do is get some of these rub rails on it. Thinking of a few things that I can do. Got a few ideas. Now I'm going to step up to 2,000 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to continue to wet sand. I'm only doing this small 4-foot wide section here just to show you what I'm going to do to this entire 23-foot long Aquarius sailboat. And I got about, recording and all, I had 2 hours invested in this adventure. I'm going to say about 35 minutes of it was fiddling with the camera, and probably about an hour and a half, maybe an hour of actual true sanding, half an hour of setup so that I could do this and film it for you guys. But as you can see, it's coming out pretty nice, all except for the spot where I rubbed thinned the white and the blue shines through. Which then I sat back and thought for a minute, I'd rather have a blue boat. What if I just sand all this white off and have a blue boat? That'd look good. But I'm not going to do that. Now, the important thing to remember when you're water sanding is you don't want to push with your fingers. You don't want to push with any certain point of your hand. You want to keep your hand kind of relaxed to where it's all just flat holding it on. You could use a sponge sanding block. I like those. But to be honest, I like to have it folded under my hand because my fingers are over the tip of the paper, my palms over the back, and I can feel how smooth the texture of the gel coat's getting. If you just go right in front of this F, that straight line coming down, well, it's an abrasive texture on the gel coat. Now this piece up here is starting to shine, and it's all getting slick as glass. And I like to go and wipe everything down with a sponge occasionally, just to make sure there's no little bits and pieces of residue filling any little orange peel areas that are left over from the sun breaking down the gel coat over the decades. Then I'll come back over top of this in a little bit with a little buffing compound and then a little wet wax. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little medium grit buffing compound to it and rub it in. Then I'll hit it with my buffer. Now, this is not the appropriate type of buffer. You really need a variable speed buffer for this compound to work properly, but this hits close to what it needs to. And I work it in. It takes a little longer to work it in because it's not doing the single rotation, it's doing a multi-directional orbital thing. But I just buff it in until I feel it gliding across it. I go each direction. I'll go left and right, north and south, and kind of keep it moving. Medium pressure, you don't want to push down on the machine. I'm pretty sure this machine will burn up in my hands. So it's just basically a trial and error run. Looks a little better. There's the little spots that came through the side of the boat. Little thin. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I may touch it up with a little gel coat. I've got a little bit that a friend from Touch of Glass over on Campground Road in Denver, North Carolina gave to me. And I'll just put a little bit on it and see if it looks better or not. Now let's put a little wax on it and then wet buff this out. Gotta figure out what my wife did with my terry cloths. I don't like using these blue shop towels. A little wax here. Let's see what we can do. Now the reason I like to do the wet waxing here, it prevents you from having any kind of haze left over. And then I'll take a shop towel. Gee, I need my terry cloths. I'll wipe it down a little bit. I may even go back over this with a fine grit buffing compound. Get a little more shine out of that blue stripe. The finer you make those scratches, the more reflections you'll get. Now watch all that hard work on that 4 foot long strip, and I'm going to take my big old wet, marred up finger, and I'm going to leave a greasy looking streak right down my shiny blue stripe. Look at it. Isn't that nasty looking? Looks like the little kid that picked his nose. Well, it's got a little reflection. That'll look good. It'll look a lot better than it did when I got this boat. Hey, thanks for viewing. Please like, subscribe, follow. Say hello in the comment section. Let me know you liked it or not. Bless you and yours.